Barrow commissions $50 million book printer today at the GPPC, and Senegalese opposition leader Usman Sonko arrested today for public disturbance. These and more coming up, but first we'll begin with the newspapers. I'll also be joined by Lamin Tamba, the APRC diaspora spokesperson, to talk about some of the recent happenings in the country, especially with regard to the TRRC. So first, we begin with the newspapers. Standard newspaper is reporting that OJ denies destroying PPP. Government plans to prosecute perpetrators after TRRC. National Assembly members who rejected draft constitution now ready for dialogue. Let's take a look at some of these stories in detail. Veteran PPP politician and former interim leader has denied accusations by renegade flag bearer aspirant Tumanjai that he has finally succeeded in destroying the PPP. Tuma, the Banjul South Nam, walked out of the party's Congress in Brikama last weekend, claiming foul play, manipulation and fraud allegedly masterminded by OJ Jallow and James Gomez, the party's only minister in Barrow's government. Government plans to prosecute perpetrators after TRRC. The chairperson of the National Human Rights Commission has recently disclosed that government has assured the possible prosecution of some individuals once it gets the TRRC recommendations. Addressing a question at a news conference on what will be the role of the National Human Rights Commission in ensuring the implementation of the TRRC recommendations, Emmanuel Juve said, "I was in a meeting recently where the government assured that already plans are in place on how to implement those recommendations. During the meeting, the government said definitely there will be people who will be prosecuted." National Assembly members who rejected draft now ready for dialogue. At least 2 National Assembly members who voted against the draft constitution last September have said they are now open to a dialogue, but only at the parliamentary level. The lawmakers, however, warned they will reject the draft constitution again and again if it is returned to parliament in its original form. Meanwhile, a migrant massacre survivor accuses a police of severe torture. A survivor of the 2005 massacre of West African migrants in the Gambia yesterday told the TRRC how he was beaten and electrocuted by Gambian security agents, leading to a loss of his manhood. Eric Yao, a Ghanaian, explained that he was subjected to several torture methods, including tightening handcuffs, beatings and electrocution by the security following their interception at the Barra point. He further alleged that these acts were committed by police officers led by one Sergeant Njur. Meanwhile, 3 years Jotna takes first a plea, denies charges. The 9 accused members of the 3 years Jotna group, charged with 3 counts of criminal offences, have denied criminal liability yesterday when they appeared before Justice F.A. Achibonga of the High Court in Banjul. The 9 are Fanta Mbalo, Ibrahima Kitim Jajo, Sirifo Sonko, Haji Suare, Abdunjai, Kitim Ture, Yankuba Dabo, Matar Sise, and Bakari Kamara. Yankuba Ture admits talking with Alaji Kani on phone. Yankuba Ture has admitted before a court yesterday that on the 4th of January 2019, he made 2 phone call conversations with Fatoumata Jahumpa Sise in which he discussed his meetings with the TRRC investigators and asked her to help him reach out to Alaji Kani. He further told the High Court, presided over by Justice Ibrahim Jaite, that he got Alaji Kani's telephone number from one Bakari Ture, an immigration officer and a colleague of Alaji Kani. Yankuba Ture made this revelation whilst responding to questions posed to him by State Counsel Keita during cross-examination. That's it for the Standard newspaper. Let's take a look at The Point. The Point newspaper is reporting that police withdraw guards assigned to ex-VPs and others. Let's take a look at that story. Based on security concerns, the police command has accordingly withdrawn all guards previously assigned to former vice presidents, all government advisors as well as magistrates. However, the oddlists of former VPs are not affected by this exercise. Government spokesperson Ibrahim G. Sankare has confirmed to The Point newspaper in an interview. Also, based on the principle of reciprocal relations governing diplomatic institutions, countries that do not provide security to Gambian diplomats' missions may not continue to enjoy security benefits from the State Guard. That's it for the newspapers. Let's go for a break. I'll be right back. Stay tuned. Welcome back. President Barrow on Wednesday commissioned a $50 million book printer. The president also called on all Gambian institutions to support the GPPC. Matisengar reports.
President Adama Barrow inaugurated the first ever Biliomatic exercise book machine. This machine will not only print books but newspapers, magazines and other legal documents. Since the inception of GPPC in 2014, by an act of parliament, the Gambia has been importing books, but with the help of this machine, GPPC will shift from importing to exporting books. The managing director of Gambia Printing and Publishing Corporation, Modu Sisi, speaking at the event, expressed his appreciation to the President and Minister of Information as this machine will go a long way in boosting the revenue generation of his corporation.
The Biliomatic P590 machine, which is about to be inaugurated, has the capacity of producing 18,500 exercise books per hour on 4 ops and 22,000 exercise books per hour on 5 ops maximum. Thus, it goes to confirm that with the fullest support, this machine is capable of meeting the entire nation's demand of exercise books, while at the same time export the surplus to the immediate sub-regional markets.
Minister for Information and Infrastructure Ibrahim Asila says Gambian authors will now have their books printed at a cheaper price.
Mr. President, we are here and we are very happy because from today, Gambian authors will have their books printed locally at a much cheaper price thanks to this printing press that you are going to inaugurate shortly. And let me tell you, Mr. President, that already the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education and the Conference of Principals in the Gambia have signed an MOU with the Gambia Publishing and Printing Corporation contracting the GPPC to print textbooks for all the upper basic schools in the Gambia. Your Excellency, these books, written and authored by Gambians, whose works will from now on be taught in our Gambian schools. That is why we are happy that you are here with us, Mr. President. For your information, the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education has already approved the first payment of $20 million to the GPPC.
President Adama Barrow has this to say.
We are here today to commission a multi-million-dollar machine for the production of quality and affordable exercise books in the country. It is indeed a source of delight and honor to register the event as another milestone achievement for my government. The accomplishment of this Gambia Printing and Publishing Corporation GPPC project is a huge development as it borders on board education and information communication technology, ICT. For obvious reasons, ICT is one of the critical enablers in the National Development Plan 2018-2021 for the realization of equitable access to basic services within the context of good governance and accountability. The exercise book production machine being commissioned today is worth about $50 million. It has come at a time when the impact of COVID-19 pandemic has brought about considerable delays in procuring goods and services from abroad. Consequently, having such a facility in the country will greatly help henceforth to guarantee timely provision of exercise books for our schools.
He finally inaugurated the machine and stressed on the proper management of the machine to generate income for GPPC. For TFN News Review, I am Mata Senghor.
Meet Sarah and Tracy from the top 8 finalists of the Be a Star Sierra Leone. Their lives changed from day one. New original songs. Be famous and successful. Be a star in the Gambia.
And the biggest stage right now in Sierra Leone.
Being a part of Be a Star is going a step further in chasing my dreams and my career as an artist.
All you have to do is record a video of you singing your favorite song, not more than 2 minutes long. Send the video by WhatsApp to the following number, 22-99944, using an AfriCell number. State your name and where you're from. Be a winner of a fully recorded album and $500,000. AfriCell Be a Star, your road to success.
Welcome back. The more the merrier, some people say. Well, the IEC has announced the registration of a new political party called Democratic Party, DP, headed by one Yusufa Dumbuya. Some Gambians react to the proliferation of the number of political parties being registered by the Independent Electoral Commission. Fatou Kamara reports.
The Gambia might be a small nation, but the country has seen a proliferation of political parties. The registration of the Democratic Party on Monday by the IEC brought the number of political parties in the country to 17. For a small nation, Gambians have different views regarding it.
Well, Diamona Jakalo Wartabake, because Nea Jibe, Gambia is a developing country, even in the developed worlds. Nitara America ya Jibe, America as big as it is, they have only 2 major political parties. That's the Democratic Party and then the Republican Party. So, Ningwole, and the population is about 200 million people. So Gambia is just 2 million plus or so. So no less 16 political parties. So it's just a clear-cut manifestation of self-centeredness and greed that I will define it in my own way. Because Niajibe, Nyumol, they are not stupid. They are intelligent. They're using their intelligence over the, let's say, the poor masses. Because most of the Gambians are not intelligent, I would say it that way, because imang kuning long ebe mala nyaming mol kanala dorong ye fang fayi kang ye use ye dump ye abuse, and at the end of the day bukana kunoje.
This man supports the idea of many political parties.
Banko system olto me alonko akawa kuyata. Kon political party ola wule pour ka banko nyini. Nde sonda ko la ko obetata. Tumado ala sembe ni mo fe men se bala fa kambia yi tumaro ni ngokara tumaro ko labe talala ni me ya ka history jibe bake South Africa ko lata num bake par bi ngale de maroke ay Nelson Mandela ko lem bala tak par bi ale adema fo ate marata bankola ko fela atenkunda.
But according to Mr. Dabo, Gambian politicians form political parties to enrich themselves to the detriment of the innocent Gambians.
Naja Nyimol Bebe political party formula right now is simply because they want to form coalition because Yajalako, that is another enterprise for them where they can enrich themselves. Because the party will never belong. But by just registering your party for $1 million, because ni eke ministry or eke director to Duladoto, within 2-3 months you can recover that. So it's like they are investing in politics now. Politics has become an investment where people will just come overnight and just register the political party, and then they become rich. Because Haninata, the past coalition, near Jibe Bake, ning yaje fond bi nendiro ning assault, ning abuse, ning insult, come asiata na politics ning kono is because some political parties, the only thing that they can do to stay with the main political parties is to prove their loyalties, and by proving their loyalties is not through intelligence, it's not through development, it's not through maturity, but they will use different methodologies. Ka hash, ka tandi, for example, President Barrow B, mo Jamal Baba like mol neni ka kuodol ka amanka coming e male be men kekande, they know ko ibe men kekan, but if fair that will keep them in that position. Ya faham. So wala na Gambia la politiko balafa warata bakel. So akata nyameng abe mol la fuaria la fala, because at the end of the day nimman sakunda kata business center ti mol kata je dronka kodo make je. So ntella dinno la education be kala nyadi, na arts industry abe rich no la nyadi, na technology be improve la nyadi, na science be ta la nyadi. And every year we seen tens of thousands of students graduating from the university. But I can bet you the common carpenter in the street abe men sotola a graduate with masters in the future at as long as if funny that a banku dokan, you understand. And then now this method of leaving your country for another country, mol bol bulakan, you understand, mol be stake la bankol lakan to prove to people they can make it in their own countries. So but if your country is not creating that atmosphere for you, now politician oli ajo sign na national cake ni mbeden tamenna mobe kalafi coming kataje ka murota ka bulala ka kuntu.
He is a Gambian artist, and he says the increase in political parties in such a small country gives no good meaning.
To me, it doesn't make sense because Gambia is too small to have like 16 political parties, and I think like the most important thing is like we have to come together as one and we work. But like this 16 political parties is not something that's gonna help. It's just gonna like delay our time and all that, because they're not all gonna win, and like there are so many things. If we come together we can do that, but like this separation is really gonna like disturb us, and it will definitely gonna disturb the country.
Mr. Mohammed explains how political parties get empowered.
The 2021 election molbenyo jufara la jambakel, because mona nanko jufaro be siala. You can take my words to the bank. Because meta system okono. And the politician ta Gambia jang. Kabirin ya jawara jamano nimme man seat nga kacha. Ni bel nene sita till killing hanakata 1 hour ni bel nene o nga kacha. So I know how they think. Nganela mira robe nyame. Most of these people coming into this politics now is they take money from people. Eka kodola donto mol bulokon. Julole be politician jamala jang, julole be mo jamala jang. E kanyim partil men bejete molle ke sponsor duma, so that in return they can have favors. You understand? Near investment also the government will empower them. Is a contract bal dealer. Mansa kunda buka contract ko di mole free in Africa. Kule by mansa eje because ila politics ni tella kana phone. Hana manke mansa defon hani oppositional ni e bele ma sign. When you are a very strong political party, they will come to your party and give you money. But it's not because you come here because in a neighborhood or a body but the reason why they are giving you is like a bed don't talk. So ni winter ma dealer drong imagine almost if I like a boy come for a benenilla if I like a carry and jump fall. I jump fall because I let men sort of do my tell the secret you say among yourself, you know. So politics in Africa is all about business. It's like setting up a company. So profit le beje. I bail form nyinti, I bailum. This is everybody. So mdelle nyandanga kuninga jibeko a serious political party. Me alon kafoko at a citizenal use la. Me alon kafoko a citizenal interest la sabla. But 16 political parties for what reason? Dol form bijente me tol long. Ila political candidates all inter form me long. More neo ko ita doro ina si akwa political party la babu. You just have $1 million. That $1 million is a university more lula school fees for job. I think it's better.
This old man says politicians should show empathy towards Gambians.
Ko be lare la nyama bi mbe nyabala. So odali lo kan tebe amaro men de sete. Both of them. Anim fula nyaw. Akakal ke diam ken ikala bala fa banko mole. Bari ye boy mole carte fay ye kumbo ye kuma di ma mole carte fay ye ci dro ye nyina mole ferek. Ko jakalo warta. Bar budum ala mon ko tim malade ala malen na tol tim.
Comedian Dabo puts across a message to the Gambian populace.
Struggle can university man school fees up. Ila tuition fee has become a problem. You understand? So everybody now, nko ya jele ko politics is something. Hamad banyol jibe bi wol kodo bol bullet. Kodo be bullet. Manyo ni mal be bulokon. You understand? Because ala nin coalition wala no will be be nyim palace olto. You understand? More many be alon ka foko be num government ya dol bay dol bi je bari be fen soto nun jele. To nya na ta ngafo. You understand? Ibe la interest le bi je politician no be killing. Ibe mu jufu nin jafalti. You understand? So you funi ya fala mi beti mo kane nene wala nying pat kamaral nyanda ka wuli nying ko la telebe media kono ndel man tar involved in direct in the media because ndel be music industry la ning comedy industry but atel mene ala ka futa politician olma wallahi billahi ta'ala nyanda ka dol fon discourage le ya understand ba ci li ñol mu comedian ol le wala nyanda ka nan tel la industry le ma ko je ya understand so we need serious political parties many ala ka foko ibe ñoo challenge la on ideas la not coming ka lo ñole be bulala ñola politics of personalities we have to grow above that you understand so ñin 16 political party mbe murun na jele coming ka kumfaje na fate bela nde Mohamed Dabo ntala ngafo andu nimmel lafta ngana nomba dila nga be Westfield you understand nga batulo form je most of them let's say we have nde nimba konjela fa I will say coming Gambia have let's say 4 political parties Nimba Kontela. You understand? Let's say, okay, NPP, UDP, APRC, GDC. You understand? Nindo Balafon, you have DOI, PDOI. But the rest are just comedy club.
There are no laws in the country which stops any Gambian from forming her own political party. And going by the current trend, the country's number of political parties is only expected to increase. Fatu Kamara reporting for the Fatu Network News Review.
Tough Africa Global presents the new Tulip Gardens. Tough Tulip Gardens is set to comprise service plots in sizes ranging from 220 to 570 meters square. Deposit as low as $83,600 is only an 18-month interest-free payment plan with only 20% deposit on the service plots. Please contact 376-2333 or 776-2333. Free. Tough Africa Global.
Us an interview. What do you make of this printer thing, first of all, before we get into the discussion proper?
Well, it's important that we upgrade our facilities, government facilities. So the printer, it's a good thing that they've brought in to improve Gambia Printing Corporation. But I cannot understand why a head of state had to go just to inaugurate an office printer or publication, publishing printer. I really cannot understand that. But given the circumstances now, Barrow is trying everything possible to make it look like he's been successful. He's doing things for Gambian people. So if you call him to anything little, he will go. He'll go and inaugurate it so that he can feel relevant. He can make some political noises. But opening a printing, Ibrahim Sila, the minister, could have done it. Why do you even have to inaugurate a printer? For God's sake, why do you have to inaugurate a printer? You just buy it, install it, run it, period.
really making fun by the fact that the president is out there trying to inaugurate this whole printer thing. But Lamin, let's talk about something else, the TRRC. We've seen some very disturbing revelations recently, especially by the sole survivors of the, the migrant massacre that happened in the Gambia. But it seems APRC supporters are still hell-bent on trying to defend what happened. How do you explain that?
Well, we're not defending what happened. We're just denying the version of stories that they're feeding Gambian people and anyone else who watches TRRC. So before we go further, I want to make this absolutely clear to every single person that we regret the deaths of West African migrants under the hands of the APRC government. And when we say they died in the hands of the APRC government, it doesn't mean it was government policy. It doesn't mean it was the government that sanctioned their deaths. It could be anyone, could be the government, could be just rogue elements who went about their own criminal activity, and then they want to blame the government for it. So this is what I want people to understand, Gambian people. First and foremost, the families of those people who were affected or those who died, we would like to show our support to them. We express our sympathies to the families. We've got empathy. We're not saying the events didn't happen. We're not saying the events happened, but they were justified. We're not justifying the killing at all. What we're saying is these people have been murdered, all right? Allegedly murdered, because we still don't know the truth. Well, I can tell you I'm sitting on two very strong versions of what happened on that particular day, and I'm still not wiser as to why 39, 44, 45, 56 to 69 victims. We still don't know what number of victims were killed. So you see, Sergio, the problem with Gambia is we hear something and we expect everyone to be in the same wavelength. We have to accept that the narrative given by a few people is the true version of events. And the narration that's been given by some other people are facts. But we know for a fact that you cannot take these things as facts. The Truth and Reconciliation Commission is not a law court. They're not digging into every little piece of evidence. They're not quizzing people. They're not bringing opposing sides. So what we're hearing now is one-sided narration of what happened. We've listened to about 4, 5, 6 witnesses about the same event, and their testimony, how they recollect the event, how they recount the event, has been different fundamentally. Each of them said something different at very crucial points of this testimony.
Traumatized, you tend to forget events that happened to you. So do you think that could be the case?
That does happen, but then also they say when you're traumatized, the image of what happened at that particular time stays with you very, very strongly, and you don't forget it. I can tell you something. I think when Kukoi attacked the PPP government back in 1981, I was about 2.5 years old, all right? I can still remember what I was telling my father when I was sitting on his shoulders. Let's put that to one side. This event happened, and we were told that there was a lone survivor. Now we know that's not actually true. There are about 3 to 4 survivors of the event. All right? So the TRRC has come. We've got 5, 6 different witnesses who testified in relation to this particular killing of West African migrants. Right? On top of that, I'm talking to intelligence services who were close to what happened in 2005. So if you look at it this way, the TRRC is just trying to find the truth from people. Eventually, where this is going to end up is a law court, because you might want to prosecute the people who confess to have killed these people. You might prosecute the NIA operatives or security operatives or the rogue elements that were involved. If it turns out that they were actually being ordered to kill these mercenaries or migrants or whatever term you give them, by Jammeh, and it turned out they are not mercenaries. It was not a combat situation, and the order came from Jammeh and can be proven, they will one day charge Jammeh for it. So what we're saying is, we're not saying this didn't happen. We don't know how it happened. We don't know. Proof is what we're hearing is narrations from people who said they witnessed the event, but their account of what happened is different from one person to the other. So we're saying
it seems like we're having some internet issues there. I mean, I don't know if you can still hear me. It seems we're having some issues with the internet. Can you hear me?
Your image freezes, but your voice is okay. I can hear you clearly.
Okay, good. That's perfect for me. You can go ahead.
All right. Yeah, so what we're saying is TRRC is a transitional process. They're trying to find the truth. Unfortunately, the way the TRRC is going, we've seen witness account after witness account contradicting each other. The dates are wrong, the locations are wrong, the facts of the case are wrong. That doesn't mean we're trying to justify the killing. Even if they are mercenaries, I am of the belief, no matter how dangerous somebody is, if you arrested them and subdued them, you should take them through the normal process of law. I still believe that today. I believe those West African migrants should have been subjected to the same. If it's combat situation like 11/11 or December 30 or some other event like Farafenye when the mercenaries attacked the Gambia military barracks, you can understand if they kill the mercenaries because that's a combat situation. But if you arrested somebody and subdued them, I think they should be taken through the law court rather than summarily executing them. So the mistake people are making, yeah.
You're saying that all the people who appeared before the Truth Commission have this one-sided story, but what is the other side of the story that you people believe in? Because oftentimes we hear the term mercenaries. Where does that come from?
Okay, first and foremost, let me start with the term mercenary so people can understand. A mercenary is a bit like somebody who's joined a force that's not a regular army or a regular force, but they do it for professionally for gain, financial or material gain. That's what it is. So you have an army, which is a regular force, and you have a mercenary, which is a force, but it's not regular. It's not under a state. It's not an institution. So mercenaries are normally people who go about activities, they're hired for contract activities or contract hire to go and carry out some operations. Those operations don't usually have to be attacking other states or other countries or similar. It could be anything that you sent that particular person to go and do, anything that's illegal. So the word itself is derogatory. Is renowned for doing illegal activities for financial or material gain. And in the modern sense, a lot of mercenaries are professional. They've got a command base. They take command from a particular person or a base, and they go and carry out their activities. And then in return, they will get a reward, financial or material. So that's what it is. So they're not regular army. When an army goes to war, it's defending the country or protecting the public or trying to bring about peace, either nationally or internationally. Mercenaries are not that. They do it differently. They're only doing it for their personal or professional gain. They're professionals. Some of these are professional killers. They're professional terrorists. They spend all their life making a misery of people or states or situations for financial or material gain. Thank you.
Yes, something I quite understand, but there are accusations that these were not migrants. Do you share the same position as those people? It's what I want us to clear.
Yeah, so now we don't know. Now, people are claiming they are migrants, West African migrants, and they came from Senegal. Gambia was just a transit point to them on their way to Europe, according to some witness accounts. Now, I can tell you for a fact, I spoke to a very close NIA operative who told me one thing. At first, they told the high echelons of power in the Gambia that mercenaries have just invaded Gambia. They've come to Gambian soil. That's what they told State House. Now, when State House heard it,
rogue security forces or actual security forces?
Rogue security. They're actual security forces during the day, but in the cover of dark, they do a lot of sinister things. And this could be from the police, from the NIA, from the army, and from other places. There's a group of them that were doing things in their private time, in their own time. Or sometimes they even do it in the state's time and they cover it up. This is one version of events. It doesn't mean it's correct. But I can tell you, we were told that there's a group of NIA police and other officers who were trafficking African migrants. So they were helping the transition of these migrants from one African country to the other, from Ghana, from Sierra Leone, from Nigeria, from Senegal, and Gambia is one of their transit points. And when they get to Gambia, they pay our security services a lot of money for them to be able to assist them to further their journey, and sometimes to hire vessels to continue their journey to Europe. Now, they've been doing this for some time until on this particular fateful evening, the news got to State House because of the timing of the event. July 22nd was a big day when Jammeh was in office. So a week or two or three before July 22nd activities, security is heightened. Because last time Jammeh was attacked, about 70 times before that, or 60 times before that, most of the attacks that took place against Jammeh during his time happened when he had big government functions. It's either July 22nd celebrations or Independence Day or near Christmas, when they think the security services will be distracted from their day-to-day security activities. That's when they attack. So that particular time in July 2005, security was heightened about 2 to 3 weeks because there was rumor that mercenaries were going to attack Gambia from Senegal. One of the reasons is Jammeh had serious battles against with Abdoulaye Wade. They had a lot of beef, they were at loggerheads at the time. So there was rumor that Senegal was going to hire ex-Gambian army officials, mercenaries, and some other criminals to go and attack the Jammeh government because they weren't happy with the fact that Jammeh succeeded in securing a place for the ECOWAS summit in Gambia. The ECOWAS summit would have been a massive investment, as it turned out, for the Republic of the Gambia. And apparently Wade and Senegal didn't like that. I don't know how true these things are, but I know Jammeh and Wade had a lot of beef between them. That much I know. So therefore, when July 22nd was coming, every single thing that was happening in Gambia was treated suspiciously. So when these state security officers found out that there's a group of unidentified people who came on a boat and intruded our territory, State House got to find out that this is what happened. So to cover it up, these people were migrants, I was told. But to cover the fact that the migrants have been spotted and their rogue story to leak out, if the migrants were arrested and taken to police stations and they speak out, they were going to tell Yahya Jammeh or the APRC government that they were brought to the Gambia by the rogue security elements. And that would have meant the end of these rogue security elements and their employment under Jammeh. You know that for a fact. So in order to silence these people, to cover up this particular story that the rogue elements were involved in human trafficking, they had to eliminate these people so that the stories don't go out there. One version, but for them to eliminate these people or to get justification to eliminate them, They had to tell State House that these people were actual mercenaries who've just invaded Gambia. So in the process of the invasion, they had to eliminate them during combat, or they had to eliminate them to secure or protect the state. This is what happened. So this is nothing but a cover-up, according to my source in the NIA, and my source more often than not gets the story right. He was not involved in this particular operation. I think he was a junior officer at the time. But if you're in the agency, you get to hear these chats, you hear these stories, you hear your colleagues talking about these things, and that is what he believes is the true version of events. State House didn't know these people were not mercenaries, because they told State House mercenaries have invaded the Gambia. You know, and I know, that Jammeh is not going to sit down just for the sake of it, murder West African migrants just for the sake of it. What for? What is he going to gain out of it? If he wasn't told that these people were attacking the Gambian state, why would he go and kill 56, 39, 44, whatever the true number is, this number of West African migrants? Why would he do that? Jammeh doesn't even, most of the coup plotters who attacked him and got arrested, like the Farafenye barracks, they got taken through court and sent to Mile 2. A lot of them who weren't killed in combat and were arrested and Jammeh found out before they killed them were never killed. They were taken through the law courts and then executed if necessary. But a lot of them are in prison, life imprisonment. So why didn't he just say to the security operatives, kill these people when they didn't tell him these people attacked the country? What for? What's the logic? What was he going to get out of it?
An important question that only he, Jammeh, could probably answer. But to get back to something important just before I let you go, from what I understand from this conversation is that this was just a massive cover-up by some rogue elements in the security forces, the Gambian security forces. Which begs the question regarding the entire compensation thing, because a lot of people are saying that, well, if Jammeh had no hand in this, well, then why is he compensating the families?
Yeah, well, of course, it is common practice, basically, to compensate people because you recognize something is wrong. So basically, in the United Kingdom, for instance, if the police go and kill a group of people or something happens accidentally, the Prime Minister will go to the scene or the event and say, look, the government is deeply sorry that this has happened. But it's not actually the responsibility of the government. They recognize something has gone horribly wrong that could have been prevented by the government. But it's happened. The government didn't sanction it. The government didn't order it. I can run an institution now. Let's suppose, Sadio, I'm the chief executive officer of the Fatu Network, and the brilliant Sergio Brito done something wrong or something that deserved an apology from the network. I could just go to the Gambian or the affected person and say, look, I am so sorry that this has happened to you. All right? And because this has happened to you and it's my network, I'm going to compensate you this amount of money just to make up. You can't make up life. No, you can't recover life, but you recognize that something wrong has happened. Even though you're not responsible, you can take that moral high ground and say, look, I am deeply sorry for what happened. It shouldn't have happened. We could have done a little bit more if we knew what it was to protect and to save these lives. But now that it's happened, I just want to have this token to say sorry to the families that this has happened in the Gambia. Every single day, it's just like now. Do you think Barrow is the one that ordered the killing of Haruna Jatta? I don't think so. Do you think Barrow is the one that ordered that the Faraba youths be killed? No. But it's Barrow government not attempting to compensate the Faraba youths. Barrow government tried it. They wanted to pull the case out of court and compensate them. Why do you think they're doing that? Is it because Barrow ordered their killing? No. So the compensation, as you mentioned earlier, ECOWAS, AU, the UN investigated this matter. They came to Gambia and they concluded that this was actually the act of rogue elements in the government. And I sincerely, even if you hate Jammeh, he was not just going to sit down and see 56 Africans and then tell you to kill them just for the sake of it. Jammeh caught people who actually confessed with weapons, tried to kill him, and he took them through court and jailed them. He didn't kill them unless the court said they're sentenced to death and they get executed. Why then considering the fight that Jammeh put in for West Africa. When Jammeh took over in 1994, West Africa had 4 or 5 civil wars. Guinea-Bissau was in and out of civil war. Casamance, the southern part of Senegal, was in and out of civil war. Liberia was in civil war. Sierra Leone was in civil war. Thanks to his effort and bluntness and straightforwardness, he unilaterally brought peace to Guinea-Bissau. He unilaterally brought peace to southern Senegal, Casamance. With others, he managed to bring peace to Sierra Leone, peace to Liberia, and you know the amount of Sierra Leoneans that were in Gambia that Jammeh government was accommodating and educating for free. When Ivory Coast had a civil war here, Jammeh evacuated all other West Africans from Ivory Coast with Gambian taxpayers' money by chartering flights. When Libya had a problem here, Jammeh evacuated all other West African migrants through Gambian taxpayers' money by chartered flights. When Gbagbo had a problem in Ivory Coast, Jammeh's closeness with Gbagbo, he negotiated, and that matter was brought to an end peacefully. Why didn't we Jammeh just turn around, see 56 West African migrants, just migrants, yeah, and then say to them, execute them? These people told the State House, according to the operative that I spoke to, that mercenaries have just invaded Gambia to cover for the fact that their smuggling ring is just about to be exposed. And if Jammeh finds out what their smuggling ring is, they were going to be in big, big trouble. So to silence people, they've done it. And then this is what annoys me about Gambians. And this is what I like about Kanye sometimes. Kanye said, yes, I was wrong. I killed these people. You know, I'm seeking forgiveness. Yeah? But these grown men will sit there and say, Jammeh told us to kill him. Jammeh gave the orders. So Jammeh told you to go and jump in a well. You go and jump in a well? They had a choice to say no. They had a choice to quit. They had a choice to advise Jammeh otherwise. No, they chose to hold him. Yeah? Sorry. They chose to, actually, sorry, my light was dimming. So they chose to go ahead and carry out their atrocities. And now it's convenient to sit at TRRC and say, Jammeh ordered us to do this. Jammeh ordered, because Jammeh is not there. You can blame him. And politically, it's sweet for them to sit there and say, Jammeh ordered it, because people like Esa Fall and others, for their political careers, they depend on Jammeh not coming back and running for office again. Because if Jammeh runs again, he's going to trump them, avoid them at the polls. So how do they keep Jammeh out of politics? Blame him for every doubt that happened under his government. Blame him for, tell him that he was responsible and he ordered every single thing. We need to be careful. TRRC is a commission, it's not a law court. What you hear is just a narration, it's not facts. Even if there are witnesses, what they're telling you is not necessarily true. It could be true or it could be false. We need to wait until these matters go to court one day, when both or all sides will be opposing each other. They'll be cross-examined, they'll be quizzed, there'll be solid evidence either by a video or government memo or audio or other to prove that Jammeh actually ordered these killings. But for Gambian people, you say anything, you cry, and they say, oh my God, their son, this is true, because the person is crying, their account is true. Yet, so far, the 6 accounts we heard so far are contradictory in dates, contradictory in location, contradictory in manner, and contradictory in the numbers of people who died. And this I find very frightening. If you're not, I'm very, very scared for where our country is going. This is not true justice. This is political justice we're facing right now, and we have to tackle it with politics. But I'll conclude this by saying, to all the deceased, the families of the deceased, all those affected, we feel sorry for you. We're praying that this doesn't happen. And APRC comes back to government on the 20th of January 2022. These things are not going to repeat. They will change. And I can guarantee you that. And we're going to be in government on the 20th of January 2022, and that's guaranteed. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Alamin Tamba. Thank you very much for coming through to the Fatu Network News Review. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And now moving on to international news, Senegalese opposition leader Ousmane Sonko has been arrested today for public disturbance. Sonko was on his way to the High Court to face the judges amid rape allegation. More in this report. Chaotic scenes on the streets of Senegal as opposition leader Ousmane Sonko heads to court to face the judges following rape allegations by one Adji Sarr. Sonko's appearance before the court was almost impossible today after a back and forth with security forces on which route he will travel on. Many videos online show security forces firing tear gas at pro-Sonko demonstrators. Many Senegalese have taken to the streets, some standing in solidarity with the young politician. The rape allegation against Sonko has also been met with conspiracies, with some going as far as accusing the government of Macky Sall of trying to throw the young politician behind bars to end his political career. Reacting to events happening in his country, Senegalese vendor Omar Diouf said the Sonko issue is highly political and was a setup from the beginning. Diouf said whilst Sonko has agreed to face the court, the justice system must not be trusted as far as this case is concerned.
Ku ànd ak Macky Sall loo wax juge le top ku ànd ak parti opposant loo wax ñu jël si la Dembo Ndiaye li fi Birima taxaw Birima gendarme pour ma leen gendarme Sénégal ak police Sénégal léegi ay non grata lan duñ dara Sonko Macky Sall moo leen jël seen xool joxoñ wet gu leen neex ñu xool fa Birima fi lay taxaw ci télé bi mu ni moom gendarmerie Adja Sarr dafa dem porter plainte ñu ni ko demal ñu veewaat la nga indi preuve xam nga pour ñu may doog a gëm loolu demal ñu tëddeewaat la pour après nga daal di ñëw ñuy doog a justifier leen 1 mois avant loolu dafa taxal gendarmerie kenn jël siw ko te activiste yaa ngi daal leen di jëli te defu ñu waxuñ te lii kii wax moo gën a pur loolu amul justice Sénégal ñëpp a ngi ci danger ñun ñëpp a ngi ci danger kenn newut ñëpp justice Macky Sall moom na leen instant problème moom la am Sénégal amuñu justice démocratique amatul te Macky Sall wax dafa lu ne moom moo fi wax nan dem palais déloger Ablaye Wade te Ablaye Wade tëju ko même fii Guinée gii mi ngi nii Alpha Condé ak Cellou Dalein Diallo chaque jour Alpha Condé sàcc élection yi te du tëj Cellou Dalein Diallo te fu mu ko teg ah les opposants am bëggu Sénégal bëggu Sénégal opposant 3e mandat lay yoonal te du fi am.
Ousmane Sonko dëgg la mais comme Ousmane Sonko accusé nañ ko te biñ ko ooyee nangu na dem uyu ji mënoon nañ ko bàyyi mu dem uyu ji bi ko sax man affaire dama xëy toog tey di ko seetaan Sen TV te mu xëyee en direct laa ko doon seetaan presque seetaan naa ko ba ay midi presque comme 9h lañ ko convoqué mu xëy génn këram 8h tegu si yoon ki nga convoqué mu nangoo ñëw kooku bañ ta ñëw bu xëyee ba tegu si yoon nañ ko bàyyi mu ñëw comme génn na këram ba war a ñëw mais comme su ñëwee ba si yoon bi ñu bëgg koo di sob tamit téye ko naan ko nii nga war a jaar te moom xam na fi ñu ko convoqué foofu la jëm mi ngi si tali bi mi ngi si yoon bi mënoon nañ ko bàyyi mu dem mais boo bëggee taxaw ñu ne la fii ngay jaar moom nee na ñun ñëpp ay politiciens lañ te moom mi ngi déposé candidat pour doon président tam mu ngi ko solo kon ñaari président yi ñoo war a coow ah autorité yi sonn nañ ndax nit ñi mais moom bu ñu ko bëggee utal yoonu boppam ne ko nii ngay jaar te moom óoluwut yoon boobu naka lay demee kon ñi ngi bëgg a yàq seen convocation ñu ko convoqué jox ko heure 9h mu génn këram 8h tegu si kaw tali bi nañ ko bàyyi mu jaar fu mu bëgg a jaar fu mu mënti jaar tamit tôt ou tard dina egg wala fu mu mënti jaar bu jaaree buntu université jaar Tilène dina egg tribunal bu jaaree Corniche dina egg tribunal kon duñ ko bàyyi mu demal boppam.
And on the other side of the coin, another Senegalese vendor that goes by the name Mo accused Ousmane Sonko of trying to pit the Senegalese people against Macky Sall, arguing that government has the right to tell Sonko which road to take for the purpose of security.
Sangar mu naan kenn jox ko yamba mu tux moom moo sol dàllam dem na day maasew te mu yor ñaari jabar yaa ngi dégg mais d'une part dafa am Sonko sénégalais la këyitu Sénégal la yor carte Sénégal citoyen la ba pare nekk député est-ce que comprendre mais il faut mu am quelqu'un boo xamante ne day nekk opposant boo xam ne mooy sonal président mais président tamit du nangu loolu foog mu jéem ko faaxaagal ndax politique la mais am na droit ne ko bur jaar si VDN bi jaaral beneen yoon.
kon yow gëm nga ne lii nekk di xew Sénégal affaire yi politique la ak yëfi complot.
mais Sonko da ko bëgg a jaxase ak sénégalais moo tax mu ne day jaar si route nationale numéro 1 xam na ne bu jaaree si route nationale numéro 1 nit tamit dañuy génn te bu ñu génnee dañuy manifester wu après lan la ñuy wax duñu wax Sonko dañ naan Macky te y a plus de 30 boy yoo xam ne ñu ngi leen jàpp ñu ngi si kaso bi appelu Sonko la ñuy xaar pour mu wuyu ji pour ñu mën leen bàyyi Sonko bu demul wuyu ji du ñu bàyyi ñooñu nañu def loolu si boppam te boy yi muy xeexloo nii étudiants yi mooy boy yi nekk yeneen si régions yi du boy Dakar yi boy dañu war a jàngi yor Sénégal ëllëg na libéré boy yi mën a jànga 24 heures kenn liggéeyul kenn xëyul à cause de lan Sonko Macky Sall Macky c'est le président ko kenn mënu ko dindi yaa ngi dégg mais balaa ngay jël nguur day metti Sénégalais ñoo ko bëgg population bi ñoo ko bëgg mais dafa am yoon bu mu war a jaar est-ce que comprendre dama ko naaw na dafa osé man su ma doon voté du ma voté Macky du ma voté Sonko bulletin ñu laay def yaa ngi dégg ñoom ñëpp seen intérêt lañ fi nekkal man PDS laa man Ablaye Wade laay bëgg PDS laa yaa ngi dégg mais dañoo jaxase suñu Sénégal.
politique dafa nekk loo xam ne dañoo bëgg a jaxase ak population bi ñun ay Sénégalais lañ am na loo xam ne bu ko Sonko defee dañ ko war a teg ci yoon keneen def ko ñu teg ko ci yoon c'est parce que ñun ñëpp ay Sénégalais lañ mais Sonko mënut a def lii nga bàyyi ko Khalifa Sall def lii nga bàyyi ko keneen def ko nga bàyyi ko Macky Sall président la mi ngi koy def teg ko ci yoon def ko ni mu ko war a defee Sonko mu ne dafa bëgg a doon président mais Sonko da dem wuyu ji yoon lan la Sonko dafa moom ak Adji Sarr la ne dem wuyu ji mu wax seetal boppam su gis nga am na loo xam ne kenn ñi mu koo teg nit Sonko mos na de na dem wuyu ji mu leeral ñun Sénégalais mu leeral ñu lan mooy problème bi lan moo tax nu ko ji wuyu ji su mosut kay ne dem wuyu ji ne mosuma bu mosul rek ne dem wuyu ne mosuma mu taxaw Adji Sarr taxaw mu ne mosuma waaye nag bëgg ñoo jaxase ak Macky Sall ba mu jax ñoo Sénégal duñ ko nangu ñun ay Sénégalais lañ na dem wuyu ji.
wala xam Sénégal ñun ñëpp kenn rafetlu ko ndaxte Sonko dafa am ak yoon Sénégal dafa am ak yoon koo xam ne mbir de affaire de moom la ak citoyen Sénégal ñooñu ay Sénégalais lañ coow am na woo nañ ko jigéen gi dem na wax na Sonko woo na ko pour mu dem mu wax moom ba léegi tere soo ko nangoo dem te gis nañ bi muy dem tamit coow la ci am lépp te loolu ñun rafetluñ ko biir Sénégal ndax Sénégal ñun ñëpp ñoo ko moom Sénégal bu tàkkee ñun la yàqul su baaxee ñun la baaxal dañoo bëgg Sonko li nga xam ne def na ko ñun kenn rafetlu ko ndax bu ñu sañoon mu demee nee noo xam ne du demee nii.
Meanwhile, Ousmane Sonko's immunity has been lifted by the Senegalese parliament since last Friday. At a live press conference yesterday evening, Sonko said this was a political stunt, and after the realization that it has blown up, they resorted to making up false evidence against him. Sonko said despite they have no substantial evidence against him, he predicted being arrested for other charges like public disturbance, among others. Saja Brito reporting. And now I am joined by a colleague, a journalist from Senegal, Venkat. I hope I'm saying that right. Mustafa, ñu ngi laa dalal ci Fatou Network.
maa ngi leen di fay yéen ñëpp ci invitation bi ngeen ñëw may di leen di jaajëfal ci liggéey bu rafet bi ngeen di def.
tey nag àdduna yëpp yeewu nañ télé boo ibi daanaka ñëpp a ngi seetaan Sénégal lan moo nekk di xew tey biir Sénégal Mustafa.
waaw li nekk di xew Sénégal actuellement mooy benn opposant bu ñëw Ousmane Sonko moom la ñu toppee ci lu jëm ci viol maanaam ñi ko xam ci siif ci wolof xaw ma nag nu ñu koy waxee ci anglais mais siif la ko wolof di waxee léegi nag loolu lañ ko toppee mu waral nag ñu joxoon ko convocation mu ne du dem parce que dafa am immunité parlementaire bi ñu yëkkatee immunité parlementaire mooy li nga xamante ne loi bi moo ko may ba nga xamante ne balaa moo wuyu ji il faut ñu dindi ko biñ ko dindee mu ne woon du dem parce que procédure bi jaarul yoon mu jëntal ga mu ne dina dem bon bi mu ne day dem nag tey gis nañ bi mu xëy ne day dem bu mu demee ba ci biir yoon bi policier dañ koo dar di ko xamal ne fii doo fi jaar fii ngay jaar fële ngay jaar bu mu demee ba sonn ci mbir mi nag mooy leen nii lay jaar yoon bi bëggoon a jaar dafa fekkoo ak yoonu université Cheikh Anta Diop policier di bañ mu jaar parce que bu fa jaaree étudiants yi mën nañ génn topp ko te buñ ko toppee mën na gën a yokk coow loolu tax étudiants yi bañ moom nag bi mu lànkee ni du jaar yoon bi nga xamante ne foofu la ko policier yi jaarloo ci lañ jékki-jékki rek policier yi daal di ñëw fekk ko ci oto bi mu nekk ñu génnee ko jël ko yóbbu ko biñ ko yóbboo dañ koy toppee trouble à l'ordre public nag mooy koo xamante ne dafa nekk di indi di salfaañe wala di jaxase nekkinu nit ñi maanaam
waaw angale di ko wax maanaam public disturbance daal lañ ko arrêté fu mu nekk nii.
voilà moom lañ ko arrêté ba di ko déglu fële ci section de recherche donc mu doon ñaari mbir yoo xam ne dañoo tegu si boppam jamono ji muy trouble à l'ordre public ak affaire viol bi nga xam ne moom lañ koy toppee te loolu mu war ci wuyu juge d'instruction bi nga xamante ne moo ko waroon déglu ni ki tey si suba.
léegi fu mu nekk ni Sonko arrest nañ ko waaye dafa mel ni ñi nga xam ne ñoo koy support daanaka dem nañ ba léegi bu ñoo seetaan balaa interview bi rek ñu ngi dem taxaw jàkkaarloo fii nga xam ne foofu lañ ko téye mooy seen gendarmerie fi ñu nekk lan nga ñu mën a wax si loolu.
waaw dañ ko téye si suba ba léegi ci gendarmerie parce que ñu bëri dañoo jàpp ne dañ koy jaay doole parce que trouble à l'ordre public bi ñu koy toppee mënoon naa ñàkk donte moom defu ko. parce que dafay mbir moo xamante ne boo suivre ñoom ñoo ko yóbbee ba mbir moomu am ñoom ñoo ko ci pousse parce que buñ ko bàyyi woon yoon duñ bëgg jaar ñu encadré ko mu jaar fa dem mën na dem ba yegg te coow loolu doon mais mënoo pousse nit ki ba mu def erreur nga sukkandiku ci erreur boobu bëgg ko see tëj wala nga bëgg ko see condamné dafa mel ni yow yaa ko tooñ kon observateur yu bëri wala ñu bëri ñoo xam ne dañuy seetaan mbir mi di ko suivre dañuy gis ne dafay nduru benn jaay doole boo xamante ne nit ñi dañ koy ñaawlu ba fa ñaawlu yem parce que tey jii Ousmane Sonko leader politique la Ousmane Sonko koo xamante dafa am parti politique la am ginnaaw buñ ko bàyyiwoon mu demal boppam rek mën na am tool fu mu yegg tey ñu du fa yegg parce que buñ ko ubbilee dossier ñi ngi wax ne avocat mi ngi xamal ne jamono ji dañ ko def garde à vue te buñ ko defee garde à vue day doon beneen mbir moo xam ne ça n'a rien à voir maanaam jotewul dara ak li nga xamante ne mooy mbirum viol biñ koy toppee mbirum siif biñ koy toppee kon tey ji Ousmane Sonko dafay nekk koo xamante ne dafay am ñaari mbir yoo xam ne war na leen topp trouble à l'ordre public bi boo moytul dinañ ko ci topp def ko ci garde à vue mu am retour de parquet wala mu dem jàkkaarloo ji ak procureur bu xool naka lay def ak moom laataa ñi lijjanti loolu mu war a jóge foofu dem fekki jot beneen mbir moo xamante ne moom la ko Adji Sarr di toppee kon dafay nduru loo xamante ne maanaam benn acharnement xaw ma nu ñu koy waxee nag ci anglais mooy benn singali benn song boo xam ne ñu ngi koy song benn leader politique boo xam ne mënoon nañu jàpp ne daf leen di sonal.
Moustapha ma bëggoon ñu wax tuuti rek si li nga xam ne mooy réaction ni ñi nga xam ne mooy sénégalais parce que ñu bëri dañ wax ne léegi fu mu nekk ni lii dafa passé li nga xam ne mooy affaire Adji Sarr ñu bëri ngay wax ne lii affaire politique la lii yëfi complot la pour su ko defee Ousmane Sonko ñu mun koo teg benn place lan mooy réaction bi biir Sénégal.
waa Sénégal ñu bëri tey jii boo defoon micro trottoir maanaam boo yoroon sa benn micro nga wër di laaj sénégalais yi naka la ñu gisee mbir mi ñu bëri ci ñoom dañ lay wax ne mbir mi mbirum complot lan moo tax mbir mi mbirum complot la parce que bu fekkente ne ab mbir dafa am mu am benn parti boo xam ne ñoo nekk parti au pouvoir ñoom ñoo fare ak nguur bi ñu gis ne ñoo xam ne ay ministre lañ ñenn ñi ay député lañ ñenn ñi ay directeurs généraux lañ ñenn ñi nekk ay kàngam ci biir parti bi toog ci plateau mel ni ay avocat Adji Sarr bi mbir mi amee ba léegi gis ñu kenn ko xam ne ay mbokkam lañ ko xam ne wax na lu rafet wala lu am loo xam ne mën na dimbali Adji Sarr donc bu dee fekkente ne mbir mi dafa am Ousmane Sonko ne complot la ñi mu jàkkaar lool amuñu beneen xalaat wala amuñu beneen taxawaay bu jëm loolu di ko défendre fu ñu toll dafay dëggal li nga xamante mooy ñu naan complot dafa am loolu benn la beneen mbir bi ci am mooy mbir mi dafa am ñu sentir ci benn loxo boo xamante ne dafa mel ni état bi daf ci dugal loxo xam nga tey ji bu fekkente ne dañoo lire PV yi maanaam déglu yi ñu doon déglu Adji Sarr ci gendarmerie lépp après dafa gën nit ñi jot ci ñu gis ni am na oto boo xam ne moo ñëw jël ci Adji Sarr bi mu ne dañ ko violé ba noonu ñu gis ne tudd nañ ci koo xamante ne benn ab avocat la avocat mooy ñi layalaate ñu gis ne tudd nañ ci kenn koo xam ne ab médecin la ñooñu ñëpp ñu si tudd ñu gis ne gendarmerie enquête bi ba mu ko dooree mayuñu ko mu yëgali ko ba sës dafa déglu ki nga xamante ne mooy Sidi Ahmed Mbaye nga xam ne dañoo jàpp ne mooy ki nga xam ne moo indi kàttan bi yóbbu Adji Sarr ñu déglu ki nga xamante ne mooy Ndeye Khady Ndiaye di ki nga xam moom salon bi di sud ñu déglu ki nga xamante ne mooy jëkkëru Ndeye Khady Ndiaye ñu doon xaar ñu yaatal mbir mi déglu ci ñeneen ñi nga xamante ne mooy avocat ba médecin boobu ñu daal di leen déet daal di yemale enquête bi foofu daal di koy dénk juge d'instruction bu 8e cabinet bi di Mamadou Seck biñ ko dénkee nag xel daal di commencé tey ñu yaakaar ne bu fekkonte ne leeral moo leen tax a jóg dañu bàyyi gendarmerie mu wéyal liggéey bu mu fës amaana bu fesee dina am ñenn ñoo xam ne dinañ leen teg loxo ñoo xamante ne peut-être ci nguur gi la ñu bokk wala ay faradoo président Macky Sall loolu moo tax ñenn ñi jàpp ne complot am na si parce que bàyyi ñu gendarmerie mu wéyal ba li nga xamante ne enquête bi nga xam ne moom lañ soxla woon mu def ko bu ko defee ñu xam fi dëgg gi féetee.
léegi dafa mel ni comme sénégalais yi dañ gëm ne lii buñ waree jaar si yoon sax daa mel ni seen justice système bi duñ ko téye comme nuñ ko war a téye daanaka.
waaw loolu lañ am xam nga dafa tey jii dafa am lu ñuy wax benn confiance boo xamante ne dañ koo ñàkk diggante justice bi ak sénégalais parce que ñu bëri ci ñoom dañoo jàpp ne justice bi tëddeewul njaaxaanaay maanaam justice bi nguur gi la fi nekkal justice bi Macky Sall la fi nekkal parce que président Macky Sall dafa am lu mu wax loo xamante ne 31 décembre la ko wax ñu bëri bàyyi ci xel mu ne am na ñoo xam ne fii soo leen bëggee jàpp dëkk bi day yëngatu moo tax ma naan bu leen jàpp xam nga fekkente ne si président de la République moom moo wax loolu dañuy jàpp ne tëddeewul njaaxaanaay wala dafa am ñu muy faral mu am tamit yeneen mbir yu fi xew yoo xam ne dafa lëndëmal xel yi mooy mbiru Karim Wade mooy mbiru Khalifa Sall ñaar ñoo xamante ne ñëpp mënoon nañu nekk ay candidat ci élection présidentielle yi ñu gën waaye mujjee ñu koo nekk lan moo tax mu jëw ñu koo nekk mooy kenn ki mbirum caisse d'avance lañ ko toppee maanaam jàpp ne dafa am koppar yoo xam ne daf ko doon dugal foofu ne waru ko foo naa dugal keneen ki ñu jàpp ne dafa dund ci alalu réew mi am ci xaalis te jaaraloo ko fi yoon maanaam lewul mi Karim Wade mais ñaar ñoo xamante ne tey jii ñoo mbirum koppar lañ leen jàppee te gis nañ ni fexe na ba bokkuñ ci élection yi kon ñu jàpp ne justice bi dafa nekk benn yet boo xamante ne daf koo téye di ko dóoree ñi day opposant loolu moo tax tey jii mbirum Ousmane Sonko ne dafay dàq ki nga xamante ne mooy juge d'instruction bi Mamadou Seck dafay dàq ki nga xamante ne mooy procureur bi nga xamante ne moom mooy Serigne Bassirou Gueye dafay dàq ki nga xamante ne mooy doyen des juges di Samba Sall mu ne ñett ñooñu mooy ñi nga xamante ne Macky Sall lépp lu mu bëgg daf leen koy def ko léegi loolu nag tey jii moom la ñu bëri am sentiment yaakaar ne ay dafa am ñoo xamante ne ci biir justice bi dañuy jàppale président Macky Sall ci biir def yoo xamante ne mooy di néewal doole ay opposant mais ci beneen côté bi tamit dañuy nangu ne am na ay justice am nañ ay magistrats yoo xamante ne ñi def seen liggéey ci nam ca waree la ay magistrats yu respecté yoon lañ parce que bu ñu fàttaliku am nañ ci benn magistrat boobu ne dafa démissionné woon ñu koy wax juge Amidou Deme moom dafa démissionné parce que dafa jàpp ne magistrature bi si boppam moom moo démissionné parce que indépendance bi ñu doon xaar mu amu ko loolu moo waral mu tekki ndomba tànk moo tax problème bi boo xool li ci gën a bëri mooy ak li ci gën a fes mooy dañuy jàpp ne justice bi ak askan wi dafa am benn ñàkk wóolute bu ci am maanaam confiance bu waroon am suñu diggante moo amatul loolu nag moo waral tey jii lii ñuy gis ba mbirum Ousmane Sonko ñu jàpp ne bu demee rek dañ koy faagaagal.
Moustapha bala ma lay bàyyi rek bëgg naa ñu wax ci lii nga xam ne mooy xëj na yàqu-yàqu yoo xam ne jot naa am si problème bi gis nañ report si online ñu ngi wax ne am na xawma journaliste la xawma caméraman waaye nit ko xam ne mu ngi liggéey si média koo xam ne moom dañ ko jam si tànka lan nga ñu mën a wax ci loolu.
waaw dañ koy regretter am na fa loo xamante ne du ñuy ñaawlu la parce que am na ñoo xamante ne tamit dañoo nekkoon ci terrain bi ñu gis ñu chargé leen dóor leen ay bombes lacrymogènes yoo xamante ne kenn rafetlu ko yaakaar ne journaliste bu nekkee ci terrain liggéeyam lay def ñu gis ne nag ki nga xamante ne moo jiite journaliste yi di Bamba Kassé di jiite Synpics demoon na fu xool journaliste yi naka lañ fa nekkee waaye tamit loo xam ne dañ koy ñaawlu parce que journaliste seen liggéey la ñu def dañoo demoon def ci seen liggéey am na si ñoo xamante ne blessé nañ leen am na si ñoo xam ne xam nañ ci lacrymogène ni am na ci ñoo xamante ne am nañ ci ay gàllankoor ak tolof yaakaar naa ne lu jara moytu la parce que journaliste bi ak policier bi dañoo war di coopérer tey jii bëri na policier yoo xamante ne boo leen rombee seen oto ñu ngi jàpp déglu rajo wala ñeen yor seen téléphone di seetaan li nekk ci site internet kon yaakaar naa ne ñun dañoo war a collaborer joxante loxo su ko defee ñu mën a am objectif bi mooy ñu bokk li ñuy def journaliste dafa xëy di liggéey ñoom tamit dañuy xëy di liggéey kon yaakaar naa ne bu ñu commencé di jàmmaarloo rek c'est pas souhaitable et puis du loo xamante ne dañ koy rafetlu évidemment am na fa ay bavures yoo xamante ne parce que ay journalistes mënuñoo nangu leen dóor ay bombes lacrymogènes mënuñoo nangu ngay gaz ay journalistes loolu yaakaar naa ne rafetlu et affaire bu ñaaw la dinañ koy ñaawlu bu baax a baax.
jërëjëf Moustapha si ñëw bi nga ñëw fii si suñu Fatou Network bi pour wax ñu rek li nga xam ne moo nekk di xew biir Sénégal. Well, time now to turn our attention to some business news. Fatou is a kaba fruit seller, a local fruit commonly found in West Africa. The fruit can rarely be spotted during the summer period. However, Fatou still manages to sell this fruit as a result of her strong passion for business. Now, let's listen to our Usman Jatta as he takes us through Fatou's business expedition.
Fatou's passion for business could be traced a decade ago when she just graduated from high school. She uses a combination of ingredients ranging from salt, pepper, sugar and lime to create a perfect spicy kaba.
Dama yaga buga fi jaay dama yaga buga fi jaay depuis suma mam bima adopt mom mo neka jaay kat Saint Charles la don jaay bima don dem school mom ma dugal si jaay time bo su jaayan ni sax lu dess ci lekam bi dama ko jëm ma jaay ko ci Piccadilly time bo ma nekkon Piccadilly la daan def lolu grown soup mo nekkon suma first business. After grown soup ma ñëw si ndox bu seeda ma jógee si ndox bu seeda time boobu ma nekkoon junior school léegi suma xarit yi sax dañ ma dee nekk di lii sax dañ ma dee nekk di tooñ sax ñu ne ma ne yow da nga bugg a jaay ma ne leen ne waaw man jaay dama ko doona si suma maam.
Kaba, also referred to as mada in the Wolof language, is a popular West African fruit, mostly eaten in Senegal and the Gambia. The fruit is seasonal and can only be found in West Africa, making it a very special and a rare commodity in the fruit world. Fatu, like many Gambian women, chose kaba selling as their trade and main source of acquiring income to put food on the table for her family.
Kaba bi hanga lu nekk soo ko def si yoon bu set rek yàlla daf la dee jàppale. Man digale yaguma si jaay kaba bi de waaye sant naa yàlla torop loolu always dama ko dee wax waaye yàlla student yi ñoo tax ñu bari ñu xam ne man maa ngi jaay kaba xale school yi ñoo daan ñëw fii ma leen dee jaay kaba ak GT Bank tamit gars yi GT Bank tamit aw ma seen fay ñoom bi ma dooree di jaay doomi kaba bi ñoo daan jënda doomi kaba si man ma ko mix ñu ne ma ne mixal ñu ko si pot mixal ñu di yel ñu turu loolu nag nit yi ñëw fii ñu ne ma ne yow doo def lii ak lii turu loolu nag noonu laa ko dooree ma koo def ndanka di jaay kaba 25 di jaay kaba 25 xale school yi su ñëwee léegi xale dañoo fees fii del ma liyal leen kaba.
She normally travels as far as Guinea-Bissau to fetch for kaba for her ever-demanding customers who are always around for a spicy kaba. The price of kaba normally differs during the kaba season. In the kaba off-season, prices tend to be more expensive, with 2 liters bottle of kaba costing for nothing less than $800, while half a cup costs $25 and full cup is equivalent to $50.
Following several years of discouragement for her love for business, Fatu is still determined to go further into business. Fatu is among the few Gambian women who rock streets from morning to afternoon to put food on the table for their families. Reporting for the Fatu Network News Review, Osman Jata.
Thank you very much, Uwe Usman Jata. That will be it for News Review today. Do join us tomorrow if you can. Thank you very much for watching and bye for now.